This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. That's right. And on this episode of 5x5, we welcome Joshua Brooker. Josh, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Very excited to have you with us today. Diggs, my friend, always a pleasure to see you. Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Okay. Moving on.
No, well, where you might normally look into a drawer at home and know exactly what you're expecting when you open that drawer, whether it's utensils or whatever. I'm the drunk drawer. There's a little bit of mystery in there. I don't know.
Not quite sure what you're going to find.
No. But yeah, I've been a member of the Candy Factory for quite a while now, at least since the beginning of the pandemic, and we've been able to grow our business just due to the friendships and the networking that we've had through this wonderful co-working experience. So
that's awesome. It's been great having you on board. And what's the name of the business?
We have a brick and mortar nonprofit and a digital platform. So
businesses.
Yeah. We have a nonprofit, which is Helping Health Incorporated. We focus on helping low-income households with health insurance navigation, and our for-profits obviously help group benefits, individual health, Medicare, Medicaid for different markets.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'll link to everything in the show notes below. And Diggs, I feel like it's been like 2 weeks. It's great to see you. Glad to be back.
You too.
If you're new to the program, here's how it works. My iPad, his name is Frank. He's hanging out right over there. He's going to dish up 5 random topics for us. We're going to get to talk about each of those topics for 5 minutes each. Therefore, 5x5. And it's there you go. And it'll be the fastest 25 minutes in podcasting for sure. We are broadcasting from the Candy Factory. We're actually recording. We're not really broadcasting, but from the Candy Factory. That is a co-working and social club here in downtown Lancaster, PA. You can check out all the details at the link below, coworkinginlancaster.com. But basically, think of it this way. It's a place to hang out, work, and socialize with people safely. We follow all the COVID protocols, and we are here to help you through the isolation of the pandemic. That's basically.
There are sometimes pets.
At least and dogs. there are sometimes it's a dog-friendly space as well. So you
I can attest to that. My black lab can attest to that.
Yeah, hanging out with you today or recently?
No. She's in probably about once a week.
Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. Anyway, you guys feeling good? Ready to go? Woo. This is episode 47 of the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. Frank, what is the first topic of the day? Bowling.
Oh,
bowling. Josh, you a bowler?
Pro or con?
No, but I can say my introverted pleasure would actually be pool, which happens to be at bowling alleys.
Yeah,
sometimes. So
they kind of go together.
One-man sport.
Yeah, they kind of go together.
Wait, how do you play pool by yourself before we go back to bowling? I've never heard of that as an introverted, or associated with introversion. So, teach us.
The moment I put on a three-fingered glove, people tend to walk away. So it's.
wait.
I wear an actual. I have a pool glove that I wear and my own cue and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm like the bowling person with their own ball and shoes.
Right. The guy that shows up with the bag.
Yeah.
Pull out the shoes, shine them.
Yeah. And I don't want to mess with that person.
No. Are you a hustler? Do you roll into the bowling alley? You're like, I don't really know how to do this game.
Don't ask him to give his game away. Come in. No. Now everybody knows.
No, I'll tell you no regardless.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I just suck.
No, but I will say that bowling helped me through my divorce. I lived in effort at the time, and we would play at Burke's Lanes. I would go up to Burke's Lanes all the time to play pool, and they were really good staff there. That they have a bowling alley, a pool hall, and a bar on site where I made a lot of good friends. So I'm thankful. I'm definitely thankful of that.
Yeah, that's great. How about you, Diggs? You a bowler?
I mean, I enjoy it when I'm asked to go. It's not usually my first thought. But you know what I mean. Like it's like there are other things that come to mind before, like, oh yeah, let's go put on rental shoes and touch. Like let's spend 10 minutes to find the perfect ball that you'll only get to use like every 5th time you bowl, and hopefully my thumb won't stick. It's not my first thought, but
Do you need bumpers?
I do not. No, I can make it down the lane. Yeah. But yeah, it's just not my first thought. But I do enjoy it once I'm there.
So it's a thing that if you were invited to go out and bowl with some friends,
I'll go. I'll go.
Yeah, you're fine with it. But
I might not make the plan. That's all.
Exactly. It's not like axe throwing where you're, you know what I mean. You're just like you're first in line. It's a joke. No. My bowling story is that I bowled in college. It was one of my gym classes.
What?
Yeah. So my parents were bowlers growing up, but I was little, maybe middle school, late elementary, middle school. I remember them going like to bowling league or whatever. Like They would disappear. I think they were. They could be doing anything. But it was like, hey kids, we're going bowling. We'll see you in a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like, and then
That's
would
a code word.
Yeah. So anyway, when I went to college, I had, I had to take two credits or 3 credits of gym of some kind of physical education. And I'm not I'm not an athlete at all. I played baseball when I was a kid and basketball a little bit, but that was about it.
Breakdancing counts as a sport.
Breakdancing, that's right. It is coming up in the Olympics. So we think. But anyway, I took a camping class, which was like the most glorious thing for a college student wanting to get 2 credits quick. It was literally it was Tuesday to Sunday of the second week of school done. So you did like Tuesday night lecture, Wednesday night everybody in the gym learning how to set up the tents. Thursday night we did a test run. We canoed like 3 or 4 miles up the river, and then left Friday, came back Sunday afternoon and canoed 35 miles and camped along the way. And that was it. That was the class done.
Wow.
But I had to pick up 1 more credit. So I took bowling, and it was the greatest thing was I went to Clarion University, Northwestern Pennsylvania. And they didn't have it wasn't like the campus had a bowling alley. So we literally went to the bowling alley.
Nice.
Like the guy, it would be like the Burke's Lanes or whatever. It was like I don't know what the guy, Gus's bowling or whatever. I don't know what it was called. But, and the guy was there, the guy was there, and he was like, sure, come on in, use the lanes, so he'd open it up for us, like, Tuesdays at 9, and a bunch of us would meet up there and we learned how to bowl for a semester. I did not do well. I got like a C- maybe. I mean, I got through it.
What?
But I was like, there's no way. What?
How do you get?
I sucked. I would bowl and I would get like, 1 strike a game. Maybe I'd get like,
But how is that well, that would be inexcusable. But I don't understand how you can be judged as like in a letter grade system. Like you showed up, you bowled. Like that's
I definitely showed up, and I definitely showed up sometimes not even drunk from the night before, and I bowled.
Hey. See,
9 o'clock in the morning. I can say
9 o'clock, but I did not. But you had to actually bowl well, and you were judged. Part of your grade was how high you scored in the game.
That's some
and
BS.
So, yeah. Well, such is life. Anyway, we just rolled a gutter ball on topic number 1. It's time to move on to topic number 2 of this episode's 5x5, which is internet jingles. Internet jingles. So,
like you've got mail. No, that's not really a jingle, is it?
Yeah, I think that's what I've no. So I suggested this topic, Josh. We actually know who in our database who suggested. I suggested this topic. It must have been a year ago when we started the shenanigans, because I have no idea what I meant.
Usually,
just-
I'm the one that confuses him, so this is great. I'm just
So-
gonna sit back.
So I'm just simply going to ask you, Josh, what is your favorite internet jingle?
Probably like a good neighbor, Google is there. You know. What is an internet jingle?
I don't know
Yeah.
what an internet jingle is.
Is it just like I like the pings that come out of my phone?
I think. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just going to say any computer-based recurring sound
Noise. Okay.
at this point.
Do you know which one I miss? Which
What's
is
that?
weird. Because it was one of the, I think it was like the standard BlackBerry ringtone, which I know it's not internet, but it's a smartphone connected.
Yeah,
to
we're
the internet,
just
so
we're
I'm
basically
taking
just doing
liberties.
jingles. Yeah.
Okay.
At this point.
But I missed that ring because it was like the clarion call of the
Right.
businessman slash it was like just being in New York, like in the summers from school, and hearing just all that the ring go off everywhere because it was in everyone's pocket, and it was you got to do things fast and quickly.
Right.
Of course, then I became a BlackBerry person, and it
You
drove
had
me
it?
nuts. Well, right, but then because then I'm like, oh, my phone. I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's not me. And then it would just be like, it was quite annoying.
Speaking of ringtones, it's like the Apple.
Right.
Or whatever. I'm not doing it quite. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like
I
that.
think we know.
It's so weird how if you ever watch a TV show, or TV, by TV show I mean any video that's produced by people, and they play that like it's part of the story, and you like go for your phone or your
Yes.
Does that ever happen to you? Like especially if you have, I don't know, if you have really good audio and it sounds like it's right there in the room,
Mm-hmm.
you hear it. And you immediately, I think we just got an updated topic. Thank you to our executive producer, Ann Kirby, by the way, who was just flashed on the screen for those of you listening and not watching. Sound trademark / audio branding. My topic was so bad that she had to replace it with 2 topics. You realize that?
So speaking of Pavlov's dog, right? Isn't that? I mean, that's the premise of audio branding, right? Is associating that sound with that company,
the device or the company, or absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, then
like
with
Facebook pings, right? Like that hit of dopamine that you hear,
right? And it was, I guess, you mentioned You've Got Mail, and You've Got Mail's got to be like the quintessential like genesis of the internet.
No,
Okay.
You have to go a step before that. You have to go the fax machine in order to get online. That was that was the sound before you could even get to the mail. Yeah.
Ding, ding. My favorite was the 2 dings. Ding, ding.
Yeah, like
There-
who made that? Who thought, okay, this is going to be like, is that a manufactured sound, or is that actually like what it sounded like?
I'm sure it was like, we're going to introduce a pause, like how you can do that pause on your phone. Like,
What do you mean the pause on your phone?
like if you go into a Zoom call, you can click call with the Zoom call, and then it calls the number, and then it does a pause, and then it puts in the meeting ID, then it does a pause, and then it says participant. So I'm thinking that it's probably calling that modem line, and then it's doing some kind of ping to say, listen to the next audio byte, ping, next audio byte.
Oh, so it's like sending information.
Yeah.
So I guess to go back
That's
to
why people come to 5x5 is to hear me talk about pings and audio bytes.
That's exactly it's why I'm here. I'll be honest with you. Going back to Dix's question though, is that really the sound of connecting to the internet? So or did somebody say, it'd be cool?
Yeah.
Let's insert this. It's not unlike, I'm gonna geek out for like 4 seconds. Like the little spinny progress thing. Like if you go to a web page and the web page is taking a few seconds to load, and you see some sort of indicator that something's happening, a spin wheel or something like that. I was working on a web project a while ago, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll put in a progress wheel or a spin wheel or something like that," and it's just a GIF that just displays and.
Yeah.
Like it's just a GIF that just displays until the page loads. And I was like, I thought it was actually doing something,
No, it's let me make you feel better while we load this. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's absolutely 100% psychology. It's just let me just show you something happening
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't leave.
But
Yeah,
like,
it's
we
like
don't need those anymore, right? Like that was when like we were in like dial up and like original
we-
DSL.
we,
Do you really?
we definitely do. Because if you think about loading Facebook or whatever, things are more data rich than they used to be. You're loading more complex things.
Gotcha.
Well, I have nothing because there were like 17 topics. I have no
that was an
segue
audio
out of
clip.
that topic. That was it. This is what
Gutter ball
happens
number
when you.
2.
Well, listen, we're moving on. This is topic number 3. We're just done. I'm running away from that topic. Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Ooh, over. Move on. Pro.
Over.
Wait, actually, so
No.
is it true? No. This is a more academic question. Not. In terms of like, is it true that are we all right-handed?
No.
I'm right-handed.
Oh, you're left-handed?
I'm left-handed. Yeah.
Aha. So that debunks what I had heard, that it was supposedly a righty versus lefty thing, that if you were a left-handed person, you wanted under. But thank you for proving that.
Let me ask you
false.
this. Let me go one step further. Since we all agree that over is more appropriate than under.
Yes.
Okay. I have two. I have 2 questions, 2 follow-up questions. The first question is why? And I'll let you answer that, and then I'll ask you my second follow-up question.
For me, I like over because I tend to unravel it too fast if it's under. Like if I'm not usually like paying attention super closely, so I'm trying to just like pull quickly, and then it just like keeps going more than I intended it to. If it's under, over, I have that happens much less for me.
That's fascinating. Our research department has just flashed some information up on the screen, which indicates that assertive people are more likely to be in leadership roles and have a take charge attitude. Those would be the people, I guess, with the over, because now it says that those hanging the role under are more likely to be submissive. So
It's efficiency. If I have to reach further to reach the under roll, or alternatively, I go, no, I'm going to try it my way and reach where I normally reach. I'm grabbing a sheet and a half down the road. I can't. You can't be like, all right. Let me try and pinch it out because I don't want to reach too far. I'm lazy. That's all I have to say.
Josh is actually measuring efficiency in roll reach seconds.
I don't have time.
I don't have time for this under BS. I feel I'm kind of with you. Here's where I'm at with why I think it's a good idea, and I think it's the mystery. I feel like it's more the edge is more visible to me. I feel like that has something to do with it. And like I can do this. Let me get my hand in here. I can go boom, and it spins down. I'm not going to go like this to spin it. Like if the edge is hiding, I go boom, and it spins once around, and the edge is now hanging. If I'm not going to do an
trademark that, you should trademark that boom sound.
Yep. Is that your favorite internet jingle? Boom.
It might be.
It's the sound of it. It's the sound of a roll of toilet paper spinning around. Okay, second question for you guys. Follow up question.
Wait, did you see what our crack executive producer has said about the science behind it?
No. Let's check
under vastly increases the possibility of I think spreading food poisoning bacteria in a public restroom setting.
What?
Because
the fingers only touch the toilet paper that they'll be using.
I have someone at my door that I have to grab really quickly.
Okay. Well, ask them.
You guys think about the over.
Ask them if they're over under as you walk away.
Josh, you can go to your door. Okay, here's the follow-up question for you, Diggs, which is if you go into a restroom, and if you go into a restroom and it's under, do you change it?
Oh, yeah, no, he should hear this question. The question was if you go into a restroom and it's under,
why do you keep adding stuff to the bottom?
So that you learn. So that you learn. This is what happens in 5x5. There's learning. If you're only listening, you're missing the learning, and you also miss Josh's wonderful faces he came back from, I think, talking with your child.
My son. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He had
So
dental work today, so I'm on double duty.
Oh wow! If you go into a restroom and the toilet paper is hung under, do you change it?
Not if it's at a public institution.
How about it? How about your own house?
I just throw it away. I just walk away.
Take
I'm like, I'm done.
It's contaminated.
Where's the spring? I have no idea. I go to Home Depot. Learn how to roll your toilet paper.
Josh takes the roll of toilet paper out.
Oh my!
Literally chucks it out the front door, screams on his way to Home Depot to buy a new spring. That's how that works.
Well, and all the while I'm like, hon, can you bring that back? I need to finish. I'm stuck on the toilet.
Colin,
are there people that roll their own toilet paper? Do we think that's a thing?
Roll your own toilet paper?
I'm gonna bet there's some hippie out there.
There's got to be hippies who are doing their own toilet paper.
There are people that use reusable toilet paper.
No.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Is that like a
napkin? I don't think I want to know.
No.
Is that a napkin?
No. No, it's just like a reusable diaper. They throw it in the washer.
Throw it in the wash and
just in time.
Yeah, topic number 3 just got flushed. We are moving on to topic number 4. Topic number 4 of today's 555 is Anthrax. Anthrax
is back. No, not good. Your son's just gonna suffer.
So Diggs, Anthrax.
Is this the band or the thing?
I don't know. It was suggested by Diggs, so we're gonna find out.
Is it capitalized?
It is capitalized.
Okay, so I guess this was the band. Oh, actually,
it could have been the first word in the sentence.
That's entirely fair. And thank you to our crack producer.
Thank you, Hank.
No, I think I know why I suggested this. I think we were actually recording another episode of 5x5, and it came up that you were a fan.
That's correct.
So
I was a fan of Anthrax as a kid. They were one of my top. I had a patch on my denim jacket that said Anthrax, so they were at least top 5 for me because I only had room for 5 patches. I had two patches here on the denim jacket, and then the big back patch. They were called.
You missed an opportunity to do 5x5, sir. Just saying.
I could have done 5. Yeah, I could have. Nowadays, I would. If I bought a denim jacket today, I would definitely patch it. Josh, for those of you listening and not watching, Josh has gotten up to go and answer the door once again. So
this is just life in the COVID times.
This is the way it is.
Yeah, got to deal with the kids, got to deal with the pets, and also deal with Anthrax.
So a top 5 band back in the day. They were one of the big 4 thrash bands that came out of the 1980s, and around 1986 or so, I pivoted from what I would call regular heavy metal as a fan of, kind of almost crossover pop metal or mainstream heavy metal to thrash metal, which was an emerging genre of music. Anthrax came out of nowhere for me. Discovered them one day at a record store and just fell in love with them. Actually, I remember the first time I heard an Anthrax song. It was on a syndicated radio program called Metal Shop that was on WDVE 102.5 out of Pittsburgh. I lived out in the Pittsburgh area. And Metal Shop was on like Friday nights at 11 o'clock or something like that. And they played Soldiers of Metal, I believe it was, by Anthrax. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Heaven. It was like the clouds parted and the light came from the heavens, and it was the band Anthrax.
And it was loud. I mean,
it was loud, and it was awesome. And I ended up becoming a big fan of that band for a while. So that's my Anthrax story. Josh, you Anthrax fan? I don't know.
I was
have no
born
idea
in 1989.
You were born in 1989?
It doesn't mean you
true.
Can't be a fan.
Doesn't mean you can't be a fan
That's
of
true.
Anthrax, but they did sort of peter out in the 90s. They put out a couple of records that didn't do very well, and they had kind of some dark times. There's been a resurgence, but I think I'm going to argue that the resurgence for those kind of metal bands are for old guys like me.
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like, there are some bands that have sort of crossed generations. I don't think and then there's those bands in those genres that just like the audience ages with the band. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
classic rock, right? The Beatles, kids listen to the Beatles. Like the Beatles will just forever be everybody's band.
Yeah.
But Yes, as an example, or Kansas, or some of these classic rock bands,
Right.
like that's it. Like the ship has sailed, right? And it's just like, as soon as that generation dies off, no one's even gonna, have heard. I'm probably gonna get some hate mail from some Yes fans. I understand, and some.
Well,
Kansas
and I
fans.
like Kansas. Yeah.
But I do feel like that the popularity of those bands are not going to be, right, like extreme. Metallica in the world of metal would be a band that has crossed generation, and they're just sort of the quintessential heavy metal band, and from that time period, from the 80s. Whereas bands like Anthrax and Megadeth were peers of them. And what was that look for, Diggs?
No, sorry, it was just Megadeth. It's just such a like it could be like a Pokemon character or or a metal band. Sorry.
Well, it was the Millions Dead. It stands for Millions Dead in the middle of a nuclear war. Like that was sort of where Megadeth came from. So and Megadeth really focused on nuclear annihilation during the first couple of albums of that band's career. In any event, I could go on and on and on. But one interesting thing about Anthrax, to tie it together to our friend Diggs from New York, is that they're a New York band. They're hardcore New Yorkers, New York band. And remember the Anthrax letters that were going around after 9/11? Like it was in 2002, I think. There was a lot of pressure on them to change their name or to sort of, kind of retract their. And this was not a peak time for this band. They had later they actually came back and they've done really well in the last, say, 15 years. But during that period of time, say 95 to 2005, and they were like, no, we're not going to do it. So they actually they were performing for a period of time in hazmat suits. It was great. And they were just like, no, we're not. They were a fun band. I will say of the metal, the thrash lineage. They were not a dark, always talking about death band. That was it. I just talked for 5 minutes about the band Anthrax. And I hope
you saved us.
I hope we still have people listening to this program right now. That's all I got to say. Like, I hope some of you the only reason I have faith that we still have somebody listening to this right now is that they know that in 5 minutes it's gone. And and it's time for topic number 5, which is rock concerts in arenas. Rock concerts in arenas.
Okay.
So the question is, do you like to go to arenas to see rock shows? To like to see pop or rock concerts? Is that a thing that you dig? Because some people don't like it.
Josh?
I like when they're looking in one direction. I get the energy, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like Madison Square Garden, where there's center stage and not always kind of in one specific.
Oh, like in the round?
Yeah. But I do enjoy kind of the feedback you get or the experience you get when everyone's kind of on the same wavelength and pulsating.
Yeah, like 15,000 people. Who are bands you have seen in arenas? Like who would you buy tickets for today if concerts existed in 2021?
I don't know. I've tamed down quite a bit from my earlier years.
Okay, go back then.
Ago.
Take us back.
Well, I mean, I would go to like all the Warped Tour, Bamboozled, all of those types of things, which technically weren't in an arena, but you'd have 10 different stages and everyone playing at different times. So that was always my highlight. But at the same time, we had, as small as your coffee shop and your best friend. My best friend was a drummer at back when I was in high school. That I'd help him. I'd be the traveling companion that would help tear down and move stuff around.
You were a roadie.
You're a roadie.
Yeah.
Did a hell of a nice
Regional
job with
roadie.
it too. Right. Diggs, how about you? Arena rock?
No. But in saying though, I like, because usually my thing is like I just don't.
Absorb blood.
I what?
I'm just
Absorb
reading the
blood?
bottom. I'm reading
The
something
word
at the
derives
bottom.
from. Oh, really? Well, I'll read this before I answer. So apparently, the word arena derives from the Latin harina, harena, which is a particularly fine-grained sand that covered the floor of ancient arenas, such as the Colosseum, to soak up blood. Oh, I see. Oh, so it's like, I don't know, like the straw that gets put down when it's muddy and or not
Right.
straw, yeah, straw
Yeah.
and other stuff. Interesting. Good to know.
Or that powder that the school janitor would have for after lunch vomiting.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking
was- there was a powder?
like in school, like on the maybe by the time you guys were in school, this was gone. But back when I was a kid, if a kid got sick in school or on the bus, they would put this powder on it, and it would have forget about
Like the
it.
kitty
Oh,
litter?
no.
Like the
Yeah,
kitty
it's
litter
like
that
kitty
you,
litter.
yeah,
It's the same principle. It was just
what you would put on an oil slick or whatever.
right. Or post, my cafeteria's lunch. It's the same kind of thing.
Were they
Same oil.
giving kids cocaine back when you were younger,
Back in
like
the 80s?
as a treatment?
Back in your day.
No, but the metal guys, I mean, we would have been all over it. We'd have been like, yeah, we need. I love arena rock show. Like arena rock shows for me was the first arena rock show I went to. I went to see Kiss play in a theater in Pittsburgh. It wasn't really an arena, but the first arena show I saw was maybe Quiet Riot '84, and it was festival seating, which meant you went and camped out not to get tickets. You could get tickets anytime you wanted to. You went and camped out the morning of the show because the first one in got the closest spot to the. And you were talking about a 6,000 or 7,000. It's a small hockey arena in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, called the War Memorial. We'd go to these shows, and I ended up in the front row. I was like 13, maybe. I'm in the front row of this concert in this arena, and these guys who I've only seen in magazines. I mean, I never, except for maybe a music video here or there. There they are, right there. 5 feet away, life-changing. Changed my life. To this day, when I go into an arena for a rock show and I hear them, sound checking the kick drum and it hits my chest. Oh,
yeah.
It's my church, man. It's my church. We saw Radiohead. At the Wells Fargo a couple years ago, 2019. Life-changing. I mean, these big shows, I just love them.
Yeah.
I don't go all the time, though. But
It was crazy when I was at a Bamboozle concert and I was Taking Back Sunday was the headliner for that year or whatever, and the number of people just so they do Bamboozle at or they did, I guess it's moot at this point, but they used to do it at where the Jets and the Giants do their East Rutherford.
Yeah. The Meadowlands.
Meadowlands, thank you. So they would do it at the Meadowlands. They would take over the parking lot and
Awesome.
There was a time he climbed the ladder up to the top lighting and hung upside down off of the lighting rig. And I'm just sitting there going, I hope he doesn't fall. OSHA would not be okay with this, but you do you, because
that is some guts right there.
Right.
That is some big guts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Josh Brooker, a pleasure to have you on the program.
Yeah, it was fun. Sorry for the interruptions, but
that's all right. Hey, it happened. This is life in COVID times.
Yeah.
So someday we'll actually do 5x5 in a room together again. So for those of you who don't know, here's a little 5x5 history for anybody who's hung around. The first 30 episodes were audio only. Mm-hmm. And probably the first 16, 17, I don't know what it was, we actually sat in a room together. Yeah. It seems so foreign.
Not 6 feet apart.
Yeah, we actually sat in a room together around, a couple of microphones. We each had a microphone, and we would have a conversation. And that was 5x5, and it was an audio-only podcast. So it's really evolved quite a ways. But someday we'll do that again, and we'll definitely have you back on when that happens. Thank you, Josh, for joining us today. Diggs, my friend, always a pleasure to see you.
You too.
Always my pleasure. And for everybody out there who is listening and watching, we really thank you for paying attention to us, because we don't get a lot of love outside of this. So a like here and there would be really great. Anyway, with that, we will catch you all next time on 5 by 5. The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast
is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 Video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy.
A really cool guy.
Really cool guy named John Chin.
Relevant links and show notes
can be found on the show post
at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory
Collective.